could find a dog, 51 pounder, 51, 50, 52. I think he won that when after Cooper bought him.
Right.
Yeah, no, Opie was devastating. I mean, hard biting front end dog, really hard biting.
Oh yeah, that's right. Vince Cooper did wind up with him.
He did. He bought him off of
Look at,
PR Joe and them guys in Allentown.
is he still alive, Vince Cooper? Did you know?
I do believe he is, yes.
Okay. All right.
But what a solid guy Vince is. Just a solid person.
Yeah, last time I spoke to him, I know he was a pastor in a church in Harlem. That was like in the 90s. He was a preacher.
Right. Right. He was a preacher.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, no, Vince was he's just a true gentleman. I mean, an absolute gentleman.
Right.
He used to put some really good shows on in Harlem.
Oh, okay. I heard a story about him one time, about I think Mr. Bill told me, somebody told me a story. One time they was doing some dogs somewhere and the place got raided, and Vince Cooper ran upstairs, and they was like in the warehouse, and Vince ran upstairs and put like a bunch of trash on him to make it look like he was just a squatter or something. Like he didn't know what
That
was going
is
on.
that is a true story.
You know
That was
about
in
that
Harlem
story?
at one of his shows. Yes, I do very well. I know about that.
So they kind of overlooked him because they looked at him like he was just a bum, but he didn't know nothing was going on.
No, no, as a matter of fact, he set the whole thing up, and you're absolutely right.
Oh man, that's a funny story. Yep. Real that was some creative thinking right there.
Well, I mean, self-preservation is everything, right?
Right. Exactly.
Sometimes that makes stupid people smart, and Vince wasn't stupid. So I mean, I,
Yeah,
I,
man.
all I can do is say I was impressed that day.
Yep. What is so? But yeah, man.
You know,
Yeah, what you
the
saying?
shame about Mammy was we never got to breed her. I always now I do know that her sister that Morris had down there in Tennessee, he got some really good dogs out of that. And we were going to breed her to either we were going to breed her to Booger, or they were talking about breeding her to Buck.
Oh, okay. Those both would have been some nice breedings too.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a funny thing. I had Colleen set up to breed the grand champion Buck when she died. Right, the my ROM bitch. I had her set up to. I bred her twice to Booger, and I was going to breed her to Buck, and she passed away before I got a chance to do it. And then Mammy, I mean, we probably would have went with Buck the first time. Be honest.
Right. That Colleen, what was the black dog that it was a champion? I think came out of that Booger and Colleen maiden. It was a black champion.
That was champion Coco,
Oh,
the black
yeah,
bat-eared
champion
dog.
Coco.
Yeah.
Right. Bad
To
ear.
be honest, yep, he looked just like Booger because Booger had bad ears before they were
Okay.
cropped. He was, of all his Booger's sons, he looked the most like him.
Coco Stanley, that's the thing. Coco
Coco,
Stanley.
well, it was Coco, but they added Stanley after they got him for me.
Right. And I heard his owner wanted for one of the keeps because he couldn't work him out. He just ran him up and down the flight of stairs for one of his.
That is correct.
Yep.
That is correct for number 2 because I worked them for 3.
Oh, okay.
Number 2 was over. Oh God, one of Game Dog's champions. Solo was it? No, he beat Solo the first time, I think.
Oh, that's
Bam
Game
Bam,
Dog.
champion Bam Bam.
That's Rico
Yeah,
Game Dog Inc.
Yep. Rico Game Dog Inc. He beat his first win was over his Solo dog that I think went on to win 3-2, and then he beat his champion Bam Bam dog, which Bam Bam was not right that night.
Okay. How was Bam Bam bred? You remember?
I
Was he a
don't.
red dog? Bam Bam?
No, Bam Bam. No. Solo was a reddish colored dog. If you're thinking about Solo, was more of a reddish colored dog.
No,
Bam Bam was patched.
Oh, Bam Bam was okay. All right.
Yeah, Bam Bam was a very good dog because I saw him win his first one, and I remember when we got hooked into him, I thought this is going to be a hard one. Coco whooped his ass, but in all fairness, he was not. Bam Bam was not right that night.
Right.
He
Okay.
wasn't. I mean, I could see it.
Right.
And
Right.
I remember saying to Rico afterwards, I said, he didn't work him. As a matter of fact, his partner did, and I think that split their partnership up that night. But he was not right. He could have been right, and he didn't stand a chance. Quite honestly,
Uh,
I mean, Coco was the type of dog that you never saw the best out of him. He did just enough to win.
oh, sound like Buck, I guess, huh?
Yeah, somewhat. Yes, I mean he just did enough to win. Where his littermate brother, champion striker, he was Aki from the get go.
Oh, okay. Out the gate, huh?
Yeah, yeah,
That's what his
yeah.
motive was. Strike.
It's entire. He was closer to his sister Rose that way.
And Striker was
Yeah, there was
black also, right?
Wasn't Striker black?
no. He was a reddish brown.
Oh, reddish brown. Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah. I won four with him, and I lost the fifth one, which wasn't his fault. That was entirely mine. I had changed my keep after 20 years because hubris got the best of me as an idiot. You
Mm,
know,
right, right.
and I had changed it, not horribly, but I changed it enough to screw up his keep. And I picked him up and brought him home, and he actually lived in my aunt's house with a Chihuahua and a cat.
I think there's a picture in one of Mr. Bill's books with that.
Yes, there is.
Yep. So when you
You
said
know,
change your keep, was it something you adjusted in reference to give him something, his food or something athletically, far as like, treadmill work or whatever?
it
What was?
was supplements
Oh,
that I
okay.
had changed.
Right, right.
It was supplements. I had never really given many supplements to a dog. I always did it natural, and I read and studied and figured I'd try it, which was the stupidest thing I ever did in my life, quite honestly.
Right.
I cost the dog a chance, and it's been 40 years now, 30 years, and it still bothers me to this day.
Well, I tell you what, your memory is still intact because you still remember everything like it was yesterday, man. I'll tell you that.
Well, some of it clouds, right?
Right,
I
right.
mean, I can honestly say that the visual part of the dog stay with me. Pedigrees, not so much. And that was always my thing, was pedigrees. I
Right.
mean, I could remember pedigrees forever. Yeah, not anymore. But then again, sometimes I forget if I brush my teeth. So,
Right, right,
sometimes it's a little stuff in life, it's a little things. I mean, it's weird how you can remember little details, but bigger things escape you sometimes.
Right, right.
You know, but my keep was always, I had, probably the first two or three dogs I worked in the very late 70s and early 80s, the keep was different. And then I had went to a 3-day work, 1 day off, 3-day work, 1 day off. And I always worked twice a day, morning and night. Guys that I never understood why guys would work a dog for like 7 hours. You were definitely, like Bobby Hall and them guys would work dogs for hours and hours and hours.
Right.
There's no way you can get the most into a dog doing that. He's already exhausted.
because the
So
rest is just important. Also,
rest is
right.
more important than anything else. I mean, any athlete will tell you that. So that's why I went to 3 days on, 1 day off. Sometimes some dogs I would give an extra day, so it'd be 3 days and 2 days off if they were sluggish during, the peak of the keep.
Right.
So when you give,
Because
I guess you
that
will make that determination of giving them the extra day off based on how hard they work.
Well, I always, I would walk them out, and you can tell if that dog's not at the end of his leash, okay, and he's dragging and he's slower, then he's still tired, and just put him up and let him rest.
Oh, okay.
You're doing more harm by working him than resting him.
Because the muscles need time to recover also.
Your entire body needs time to recover. It's such a stress on his kidneys and his liver. That's why, what you feed them is the most important thing. People sometimes look at me like, "What, are you crazy? What you feed your dogs?" I just had a young gentleman that from South Africa. He spent, oh God, hours on the phone with me and texting back and forth and messaging about how to feed a dog. So I explained it to him. And he said to me after the keep and after he had won, he said, I never had a dog look that good, act that good, in that good a shape. And that all comes down to what you put in him, because whatever you put in him is the fuel he needs to work
Right.
and to recoup and to recoup.
Got
You know, and it's not, too many people, yes, they are carnivores, but they are omnivores. Dogs are omnivores. And, there are studies that have shown that dogs benefit from fruit and vegetables, right? Like one of the big things in my keep is watermelon because I want my dogs hydrated. I don't want to dry my dogs out. And watermelon is one of the best things for the dog's gut and one of the best things to keep them hydrated.
Right. Makes sense.
You know, and that's like some people use rice during the keep. That's the worst thing you can give a dog is rice, the absolute worst. Boiled sweet potato, plain oatmeal. That's a steady carb that when you're working that dog, it gives a steady flow of energy to him, not a spike.
So the steady flow in reference to the spike, what's the pros and cons to that?
Well, a spike will overwork his muscles and his gut and give you a burst of energy, and then that dog is going to tire. With sweet potato or oatmeal, there is no strain on that dog's body from a spike. It's like a diabetic. I'm a diabetic, insulin dependent diabetic. If I ate white rice, my sugar would spike through the roof, right?
Right.
There's other things like sweet potato that I can eat, even as a human being, that does not spike my sugar.
Oh, okay.
Same with a dog. All you're dealing with is a smaller animal, but you're dealing with the same spikes.
Right.
So if you want a consistent work out of the dog, consistent carbohydrate is consistent energy. Spike's going to give you a burst, and that's it.
Got you. So I guess we got to finally do that one on nutrition, huh? That next one.
Yeah, that's going to need to be a two-parter because
Oh,
I
okay.
got a lot on
All
nutrition,
right.
bro.
Got you. Got you.
Got you. And I know my fan base will definitely eagerly be anticipating that one.
You know, even people look what I feed my dogs and are like, oh my God, really? You feed them that much? I mean, I feed once a day only. Feeding the dog twice a day is not a good thing. That dog's gut never gets a chance to turn off.
It's steadily working, huh?
Yeah, it is. When you're feeding twice a day, you're steadily working his gut, and the gut
Right.
breaks down and doesn't repair itself. Dogs, our dogs may be domesticated mentally, but physiologically,
Still the
they are
same.
no different. They're no different than a wolf or a wild dog pack.
Right.
They do much better with fasting than they do with full stomachs all the time. A wolf pack, a dog pack doesn't eat every day. Doesn't
Right.
eat
Right.
twice a day. 1 in
Right.
5, 1 in 7. Their dogs are much more suited to fast than they are to be constantly full.
Got you. 'Cause like you said, every time they hunt, they're not going to always catch prey. So
No, not at all. And in that time in between, they're eating other things, berries, eggs, whatever they can find.
Right. Right.
whatever they can find, which we say to munch on, huh?
Correct. I mean, it's survival, right?
Got you. Yep. There you go.
But that's for a different
Yeah,
story.
we're gonna break that down on the next one, Ross. I appreciate your time, man. As always, man. Thanks a lot,
All right, my brother.
and you have a good day, man. And thanks for all my supporters for stopping by, listening to the man.
Well, I thank you guys for listening to me. Sometimes I do have gems of wisdom, like a broken clock twice a day, maybe.
Right. And this is all history. This is all historical information.
Absolutely historic.
All
All right, my
right.
brother. You
All
have a
right.
great one.
Take it easy, Ross.
All right, brother. Bye.